Have you ever imagined leaving behind your ordinary life and choosing the open road instead? For Jazmyn and Crystal, that choice was real. Their leap into uncertainty not only reshaped their lives but also inspired hundreds of thousands who now follow them as Vanwives. The couple first rose to fame by documenting their adventures in a self-built van, traveling with their dogs across Canada, the United States, Mexico, and Guatemala. Their channel quickly stood out for its honesty, cinematic beauty, and the warmth of their partnership. Their journey began as an escape from the weight of rent, but it grew into something much bigger. Life on four wheels eventually led them to 15 acres of wilderness, where they are now creating a permanent off-grid home. Before the world knew them as the Vanwives, Jazmyn and Crystal were an ordinary young couple in Barrie, Ontario. In their mid-20s, both worked long shifts in hospitality and service jobs. Their days were filled with punching time clocks, saving up vacation hours, and watching paychecks vanish into rent and bills. Like many of their generation, they felt trapped in a system that left little space for growth or adventure. Every month repeated the same cycle: work hard, pay the landlord, and hope for a few days of rest before starting again. Travel offered brief escapes, but always with the weight of returning to the same routine. Neither of them wanted that life. The more they talked, the clearer it became that something had to change. They began to dream of living differently, of investing their money and energy not in rent, but in experiences and freedom. The idea sounded radical, yet it was practical. Instead of pouring their savings into an apartment they hardly enjoyed, why not buy a van and make it home? It would be a one-time investment, freeing them from monthly rent and giving them the chance to travel full-time. In 2018, they took the leap. They bought a 2006 Mercedes Sprinter for about 14,000 Canadian dollars and spent another 10,000 turning it into a livable home. Neither had experience in construction. They did not know how to install plumbing, wire electricity, or even build proper furniture. Their greatest resource became YouTube itself, where video tutorials guided them through carpentry, water systems, and insulation. The process was long, frustrating, and filled with mistakes. But slowly, the van transformed. It became more than a vehicle, it became a symbol of independence, a rolling home that carried not only their belongings, but also their hope for a freer life. When they finally hit the road, everything changed. Days were filled with mountain views, forest campsites, and endless highways stretching to the horizon. The freedom they had longed for was suddenly real, and it felt intoxicating. But freedom came with challenges. Life on the road meant constant adjustments, unexpected breakdowns, and the daily task of finding safe places to park. Despite the hurdles, they pressed on, motivated by the sense that they were finally living on their own terms. It was during this time that the idea of sharing their journey with the world came up. At first, they hesitated. They were travelers, not filmmakers. But with encouragement, they bought a camera in Las Vegas and uploaded their first video, a simple van tour. That first video was not polished, but it had something better: authenticity. Viewers were drawn not just to the van, but to the warmth and humor of the couple themselves. The channel began to grow. As subscribers multiplied, Jazmyn and Crystal realized they had tapped into something bigger than themselves. Their channel was no longer just a personal record of their adventures. It was becoming a community. They leaned into storytelling, learning to capture not only the landscapes, but also the emotions of van life. Viewers tuned in to watch their hikes, their cooking, their quiet fireside moments, and of course their dogs, Bella and Izzy, who became as much a part of the story as the humans. The name Vanwives came to symbolize more than a lifestyle. It represented their partnership, their commitment, and their shared dream. By 2020, they had built a loyal following of hundreds of thousands and signed with a major talent management company. With fame came curiosity. Fans wanted to know everything, from how they earned money to whether they planned to marry. Social media buzzed with speculation about a Vanwives wedding. Some unrelated creators' videos were even mistaken for theirs, fueling persistent rumors. Through it all, Jazmyn and Crystal kept their focus. Their relationship was evident in every video, every shared meal, every laugh. They did not need to address rumors. Their life together spoke for itself. After years of constant travel, a new longing emerged. The road had given them freedom, but it was not permanent. Campsites were temporary, parking lots borrowed. They wanted land they could call their own. In 2025, they announced their next chapter: the purchase of 15 acres of remote woodland on Canada's east coast. Their dream had evolved. The van had given them freedom, but now they were ready for something deeper, a permanent home built by their own hands. The move to off-grid living was no easier than their first van build. The land came with an aging cabin in need of renovation, and their plans included turning shipping containers into living spaces. Solar power, wood heat, and balancing modern needs with natural surroundings became their daily reality. Their channel evolved with them. Videos shifted from van tours and road adventures to homestead projects, construction updates, and glimpses of daily life in the woods. Their dogs remained central, with Bella's health struggles, including tumors and heart disease, becoming part of the story viewers followed with care. Through every challenge, their audience stayed loyal. Many who had once been inspired by van life now found new inspiration in the couple's resilience and determination to build a life from the ground up. The Vanwives story does not exist in isolation. It is part of a broader wave of creators redefining how to live and work in the digital age. Their journey shows what is possible outside traditional structures, while also highlighting the immense effort behind the dream. At the same time, their story stands in contrast to others who have stepped away from YouTube altogether. Some, like Matt Pat of The Game Theorists, retired to focus on family. Others, like Tom Scott, ended long-running projects to preserve creative energy. In more tragic cases, creators left due to burnout, controversy, or personal loss. The Vanwives chose a different path. Instead of retreating, they evolved. Instead of stepping back, they invited their audience into a new chapter. The success of Vanwives can be measured in numbers, but its meaning goes deeper. It is the story of two women who dared to ask whether life had to follow the traditional script. It is about resilience, mistakes, and carving out a life that feels authentic. For viewers, their journey is a reminder that freedom is not given. It is built. It demands sacrifice, hard work, and the courage to face uncertainty. Their van was never the destination. It was the bridge to the life they truly wanted. Today, Jazmyn and Crystal live among the trees, shaping their homestead, one project at a time. Their story is still unfolding. The cabin is still being built, the land still being cultivated, their dogs still at their side. Their love continues to guide them through the challenges of a life they chose for themselves. What began as a glimpse into van life has grown into something bigger. The Vanwives story is not only about freedom on the open road, but also about building roots where none existed before. It is about taking risks, facing hardships, and discovering that the dream does not end when the wheels stop turning. For those who watch, their journey is more than entertainment. It is a quiet call to ask ourselves what kind of life we want and what we are willing to do to make it real.